Leases of immovable property, definition of lease, Section 105 and license. 105 Lease defined, a lease of immovable property is a transfer of a right to enjoy such property, made for a certain time, express or implied, or in perpetuity, in consideration of a price paid or promised, or of money, a share of crops, service or any other thing of value, to be rendered periodically or on specified occasion to the transferor by the transferee, who accepts the transfer on such terms. Lessor, lessee, premium and rent defined, the transferor is called the lessor, the transferee is called the lessee, the price is called the premium, and the money, share, service or other thing to be so rendered is called the rent. Deep dive into lease definition, Section 105. Here's a detailed breakdown of the lease definition in Section 105 of the Transfer of Property Act, with examples and further explanation of key terms. Transfer of a right to enjoy. The lease doesn't involve transferring ownership, but only the right to use and benefit from the property for a specific period, certain time, express or implied, or in perpetuity. Fixed duration. Lease can be for a predefined period, like 1 year or 5 years. Indefinite period, implied leases, like month to month, continue until terminated by either party. Perpetuity, rarely used, but implies the right to use the property forever, eventually reverting to the owner's heirs. Consideration. The lessee gives something of value to the lessor in exchange for the right to use the property. Premium, one-time payment made upon entering the lease agreement. Think security deposit or upfront payment. Rent, regular payments, typically money, made periodically throughout the lease. Think monthly rent. Other considerations, share of crops in agricultural leases, services rendered by the lessee. Parties involved. Lessor, the owner of the property who grants the right to use it. Think landlord. Lessee, the person who receives the right to use the property. Think tenant. Example, John owns a house, lessor, and leases it to Sarah, lessee, for 2 years, certain time. Sarah pays a one-time premium of $1,000 and monthly rent of $1,500, consideration. This is a typical residential lease with premium and rent. Additional points. The definition clarifies the temporary nature of the right granted, even in perpetuity leases. It acknowledges various forms of consideration beyond just money, making the concept more versatile. Understanding these terms helps interpret lease agreements and resolve legal disputes. Bonus. Implied leases, while not explicitly written, these arise from conduct like continuous occupation with the owner's knowledge. Sublease. The lessee can further lease the property to another person, sublessee, with the lessor's approval. I hope this deep dive has been helpful. Feel free to ask further questions about specific aspects of the lease definition. Leases of immovable property, leases how made, Section 107. 107 Leases how made, a lease of immovable property from year to year, or for any term exceeding 1 year, or reserving a yearly rent, can be made only by a registered instrument. All other leases of immovable property may be made either by a registered instrument or by oral agreement accompanied by delivery of possession. Where a lease of immovable property is made by a registered instrument, such instrument, or where there are more instruments than one, each such instrument shall be executed by both the lessor and the lessee, provided that the state government may, from time to time, by notification in the official gazette, direct that leases of immovable property, other than leases from year to year, or for any term exceeding 1 year, or reserving a yearly rent, or any class of such leases, may be made by unregistered instrument or by oral agreement without delivery of possession. Explanation of Section 107 of the Transfer of Property Act, 1882. This section deals with the formalities required for creating a valid lease of immovable property in India. Let's break it down. 1. Mandatory registration. Leases exceeding 1 year, year-to-year leases, and leases with yearly rent. These types of leases require mandatory registration by a registered instrument. Example: a formal lease agreement drafted and registered by a sub-registrar. This provides greater evidence and security for both lessor and lessee. Other leases, leases less than a year and not falling under the above categories, can be made either through a registered instrument or orally with physical possession handover. 2. Registered instrument requirements. If a registered instrument is used, both the lessor and lessee must sign it. This instrument serves as official proof of the lease agreement and its terms. 3. State government exemption. State governments can issue notifications in the official gazette to exempt certain types of leases from registration or even from the oral agreement requirement if possession is handed over. This provides flexibility for specific situations. Key points. Registration adds security and clarity to long-term or recurring leases. Short-term leases have more flexibility in terms of formalities. State governments can further tailor requirements based on their needs. Remember, this explanation is for general understanding only. For specific legal advice, consult a qualified lawyer. The applicability of this section may vary depending on your location and the specific circumstances of your lease. I hope this clarifies the meaning and implications of Section 107. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask. Leases of immovable property, determination of lease, Section 111. 111 Determination of lease. A lease of immovable property determines a. by efflux of the time limited thereby, b. where such time is limited conditionally on the happening of some event by the happening of such event. C. Where the interest of the lessor in the property terminates on, or his power to dispose of. The same extends only to the happening of any event by the happening of such event. D. In case the interests of the lessee and the lessor in the whole of the property become vested at the same time in one person in the same right. E. By express surrender, that is to say, in case the lessee yields up his interest under the lease to the lessor by mutual agreement between them. F. By implied surrender. G. By forfeiture, that is to say, 1. In case the lessee breaks an express condition which provides that, on breach thereof, the lessor may re-enter, or 2. In case the lessee renounces his character as such by setting up a title in a third person or by claiming title in himself, or 3. The lessee is adjudicated an insolvent and the lease provides that the lessor may re-enter on the happening of such event, and in any of these cases the lessor or his transferee gives notice in writing to the lessee of his intention to determine the lease. H. On the expiration of a notice to determine the lease, or to quit, or of intention to quit, the property leased, duly given by one party to the other. Illustration to Clause F. A lessee accepts from his lessor a new lease of the property leased, to take effect during the continuance of the existing lease. This is an implied surrender of the former lease, and such lease determines thereupon. The passage you provided explains the various ways in which a lease of immovable property can be terminated in Indian law, as per Section 111 of the Transfer of Property Act, 1882. Here's a breakdown of each point. A. Efflux of time. The lease ends naturally when the agreed-upon duration expires. B. Conditional term. If the lease ends upon a specific event happening, example, completion of construction, it terminates when that event occurs. C. Lessor's interest termination. If the lessor loses ownership or control of the property due to a specific event, the lease ends simultaneously. D. Merger of interests. If both the lessee and lessor's rights in the property become vested in the same person, the lease merges and dissolves. E. Express surrender. The lessee voluntarily relinquishes their rights under the lease to the lessor, with both parties agreeing to its termination. F. Implied surrender. This occurs when the lessee's actions are inconsistent with their lease obligations, suggesting an implicit intention to give up their tenancy. For example, accepting a new lease for the same property during the existing lease term implies surrendering the previous one. G. Forfeiture. This involves the lessor terminating the lease due to the lessee's breach of specific conditions. 1. Express condition breach. The lease allows the lessor to re-enter the property if the lessee violates a specific clause with such a re-entry clause. 2. Renunciation of tenancy. If the lessee disclaims their leasehold rights or asserts ownership against the lessor, the lease can be forfeited. 3. Insolvency and lease clause. If the lease allows the lessor to terminate it upon the lessee's insolvency, they can do so after notifying the lessee of their intention. H. Notice to quit. Either party can terminate the lease by providing a written notice to the other as per the terms of the lease or applicable laws. The illustration clarifies that accepting a new lease for the same property during the existing lease implies surrendering the earlier one, highlighting the concept of implied surrender. I hope this explanation breaks down the complex legal jargon and provides a clearer understanding of the various ways a lease can be determined in India. Please let me know if you have any further questions about specific points or if you'd like me to elaborate on any particular aspect. Leases of immovable property, effect of holding over, Section 116. 116 Effect of holding over. If a lessee or underlessee of property remains in possession thereof after the determination of the lease granted to the lessee, and the lessor or his legal representative accepts rent from the lessee or underlessee, or otherwise assents to his continuing in possession, the lease is, in the absence of an agreement to the contrary, renewed from year to year, or from month to month, according to the purpose for which the property is leased, as specified in Section 106. Illustrations. A. Lets a house to be for 5 years. B. Underlets the house to C at a monthly rent of 100 rupees. The 5 years expire, but C continues in possession of the house and pays the rent to A. C's lease is renewed from month to month. B. Lets a farm to be for the life of C. C dies, but B continues in possession with A's assent. B's lease is renewed from year to year. Effect of holding over in lease explained. Section 116 of the Transfer of Property Act. Section 116 of the Transfer of Property Act, 1882, deals with a situation where a tenant remains in possession of a property after the lease has expired. This is known as holding over. This section explains the legal consequences of such holding over in the absence of any specific agreement between the landlord and tenant. Key points. Holding over refers to a tenant staying in the property beyond the lease term without a new agreement. Lessor's acceptance, crucial element. If the landlord accepts rent or allows continued possession, it implies consent to the holding over. Automatic renewal. In the absence of a new agreement, the lease is automatically renewed for a specific period. Renewal period depends on the purpose of the lease, as per Section 106. Residential property, renewal from month to month. Non-residential property, renewal from year to year. Illustrations. Example 1. If B leases a house from A for 5 years and subleases it to C for 100 rupees per month. After 5 years, C continues living in the house and pays rent directly to A. This implies acceptance of holding over, and C's lease is renewed from month to month. Example 2. A leases a farm to be for the life of C. After C's death, B continues staying on the farm with A's consent. This is considered holding over, and B's lease is renewed from year to year. Important aspects. This section applies only if there's no new agreement between the landlord and tenant after the lease expires. The rent for the holding over period can be negotiated or may default to the previous lease rate. The landlord can still terminate the lease with proper notice, even during the holding over period. This section serves as a default legal framework for holding over. It's always recommended to have a clear written agreement outlining the terms and conditions in such situations to avoid any disputes. I hope this explanation clarifies the meaning and implications of Section 116 regarding the effect of holding over in a lease. Please let me know if you have any further questions or need additional details on specific aspects.